Hello everyone. Myself Dr. Kirti Mathur. I'm MPT Musculoskeletal, presently working as Assistant Professor, Department of Physiotherapy, Dolphin PJ Institute of Biomedical and Natural Sciences. Today I'm going to discuss a topic osteoporosis and which is creating lots and lots of troubles for many people. So if we break this word into two, it is osteo and porosis. It is made up of two words, osteon and porosis. So osteo means bone and porosis means formation of some pores. So definitely it is becoming very clear from its name itself that your bone has become porous, and if your bone has become porous, then you get ready for any kind of complications. So see, in this picture you can see this is our normal bone matrix, but in this picture you see there are lots of your this matrix has become very less dense, and it is representing like pores have developed in your bone matrix. And if this is the normal structure, normal standing posture from the lateral view, once a patient is suffering from osteoporosis because of this condition, this posture keeps on changing as your skeletal system becomes weak and patient starts slouching, or whole posture is affected. And these are the different stages, like this is our normal bone, and then second coming on to the osteoporosis, and this is the severe osteoporosis. Then actually this is a systemic skeletal disorder, because it is affecting the whole bones of the body, whole skeletal system. And this is mainly characterized by low bone mass, microarchitectural deterioration of bone tissue, which leads to bone fragility and consequent increase in fracture risk. So if your bone is becoming more porous, it is becoming more fragile, so it becomes more prone for fractures, and that too will with mild activities. Not, it doesn't need a traumatic condition or a severe blow to face this fracture condition. It occurs by minor activities also. And this is most common reason for a broken bone among the elderly. And bones that commonly break include the vertebrae in the spine, the bones of the forearm and the hip. Until a broken bone occurs, there are typically no symptoms, because osteoporosis is definitely weakening our whole skeletal system, but until and unless there is no fracture, no symptoms will be visible, except that because it is more often linked with aging, so people assume that all we are feeling a dull ache in the bones, we are not feeling strong enough. So it is, these are common symptoms linked with aging, so it doesn't show a specific symptom until and unless a fracture occurs. And bones may weaken to such a degree that a break may occur with minor stress or spontaneously. And after a broken bone, chronic pain and a decreased ability to carry out normal activities may occur. For example, if an elderly lady is just combing her hair, this combing may cause a fracture in the wrist. Or if somebody is picking a cup or a bottle, that's just simple activity which is very simple for a healthy person, it may even cause fracture. So this becomes very distressful for the patient, because he or she is not able to perform these daily activities with a free mind, because there are always chances of fracture. And then definitely depends on the severity of the osteoporosis. And this is more common in women than in men because of the hormonal changes that occur during menopause. And most people with osteoporosis don't know they have it until they have a bone density test or a break a bone, because it is not showing any other symptom. So people think that it's okay, we are healthy, but suddenly something happens, and then if some fracture occurs, then only patient goes for a bone density checkup. Then they realize that their bones have become very weak, and this may be due to lower than normal maximum bone mass and greater than more normal bone loss. And bone loss increase after menopause due to lower levels of estrogen. There are lots of hormonal changes after menopause, so it is more commonly seen in females. And this may also occur due to a number of diseases or treatments, including alcoholism, anorexia, hyperthyroidism, kidney disease, and surgical removal of the ovary. So these all other conditions are also related with the osteoporosis. Then there are certain medications which increase the rate of bone loss, including some anti-seizure medications, chemotherapy, proton pump inhibitors, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, and glucocorticosteroids. Smoking and dairy consumption and too little exercise are also other risk factors. So these all are the risk factors for developing osteoporosis. And this is defined as a bone density of osteoporosis is defined as a bone density of 2.5 standard deviations below that of a young adult, and this is typically measured by dual energy X-ray absorptiometry or the DEXA. So see, this may cause various complications with the patient. It may cause a vertebral fracture, hip fracture, wrist fracture. These are actually common sites of fracture. Then this is representing a normal bone, and this is bone with the osteoporosis. If this green arrow is showing the normal bone mineral density, if it is coming from 0 to -1, this is normal, and from -1 to -2.5, this ranges the osteopenia, and if it is going below -2.5, then it is osteoporosis. And you can see this erect posture starts changing, and then it becomes a stooped posture with the growing age. Then signs and symptoms, if we are talking about signs and symptoms, so it is not having a specific symptoms, no symptoms, and its main consequence is the increased risk of bone fractures. And osteoporotic fractures occur in situation where healthy people would not normally break a bone. Who will think that combing hair can cause a fracture, or just lifting a cup to take tea, it may cause fracture. So they are therefore regarded as fragility fractures, and typically fragility fractures occur in the vertebral column, rib, hip, and wrist. Then fractures and risk of falls increases in the patient suffering from osteoporosis, and it may also cause acute and chronic pain in elderly. This is often attributed to fractures from osteoporosis and can lead to further disability and early mortality. And the symptoms of a vertebral collapse or compression fractures are sudden back pain, often with radicular pain, shooting pain. It may radiate to the root of the nerve, and rarely with spinal cord compression or quad equina syndrome. So we cannot consider it a minor condition, because symptoms are not visible until and unless something happens, until and unless a fracture occurs. So no symptoms are seen. Then multiple vertebral fractures lead to a stoop posture, loss of height, and chronic pain with resultant reduction in mobility. So this change in the posture is also because of the multiple vertebral fractures which are left undiagnosed, untreated. Then quad equina syndrome may also occur, which is a condition that occurs when the bundle of nerves below the end of spinal cord, which is known as quad equina, is damaged. And then signs and symptoms which occur are of quad equina, which include low back pain, pain that radiates down the leg, numbness around the anus, loss of bowel or bladder control. So these all are the symptoms of the quad equina syndrome. Then fractures of the long bones acutely impair mobility and may require surgery, like hip fracture in particular. Usually it requires prompt surgery, as serious risks are associated with, such as deep vein thrombosis and pulmonary embolism and increased mortality. So if any of these condition is developing, it is affecting the normal activities, and in the long term it increases the mortality rate of the patient. Then what are the risk factors? So risk factors can split between two. One is the non-modifiable and potentially modifiable. Though two risk factors are there. Then we talk about non-modifiable. So the most important risk factor for osteoporosis are advanced age in both men and women, and female sex. So we cannot modify the age, we cannot change the sex, so it has to happen. So in females, estrogen deficiency following menopause or surgical removal of the ovaries is correlated with a rapid reduction in bone mineral density, while in men a decrease in testosterone levels has comparable but less pronounced effect. So this is non-modifiable. We cannot do anything with this. This has to happen. We have to age. And then next is ethnicity. While osteoporosis occurs in people from all ethnic groups, but Europeans or Asian ancestry predisposes for osteoporosis. So we cannot decide where we have to take birth. So our ethnicity is also non-modifiable. Then heredity. Those with a family history of fracture or osteoporosis are at an increased risk, the heritability of fracture as well as low bone mineral density. This is relatively high, ranging from 25 to 80%, and at least 30 genes are associated with the development of osteoporosis. So, definitely we cannot modify our heredity, we cannot modify our ethnicity, we cannot modify our sex. So, these all comes under the non modifiable factors. And okay, this was the previous. Then those who have already had a fracture are at least twice as likely to have another fracture compared to someone of the same age and sex. And a small stature is also non-modifiable risk factor which is associated with development of osteoporosis. So these all are the non-modifiable factors. Now potentially modifiable, which we can modify, like excessive alcohol. We can control the intake, or we can control this addiction. Vitamin D deficiency, tobacco smoking, malnutrition, lack of exercises, endurance training, soft drinks, proton pump inhibitors. These all are the factors which we can easily modify. We don't need anybody help. We can modify all these things, and like we can control our diet. We can manage a good healthy diet and a good healthy lifestyle by putting more effort for our exercises, cutting off soft drinks and other harmful eatables. Then there are some medical disorders like immobility, endocrinal disorders, rheumatological disorder, Parkinson's disease, kidney disease, several inherited disorders, hematological disorders. So these all medical disorders, they are also linked with the osteoporosis. So if we know that we have a heredity of these fractures or osteoporosis, so what we can do, we can at least work on ourselves. We can have a good diet, good intake of vitamin D, calcium, and if we are exercising well, so definitely we are making our bones stronger and stronger. So we have to follow a healthy diet, a healthy exercise plan daily, and definitely stay away from any kind of addictions, because all these addictions in long run they create lots of medical complications. So I hope this lecture will help you to understand osteoporosis better. Thank you so much.